Hey there, family. Welcome to the Healthy Mind and Body Show, a channel dedicated to merging the worlds of mental health, fitness, and wellness. Today I'm going to be talking about the many faces of grief. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Peter Gordon. I'm a licensed mental health therapist and a life and health coach. And I'm also a doctoral student working towards a doctorate in clinical psychology. And I make videos on mental health, nutrition, fitness, wellness, philosophy, and everything I hope can help you to lead your most profound life. And while you're here, please don't forget to click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you're notified each time I post a brand new video. Also, feel free to share this video and hit that like button, of course, as well as leave a comment. Now let's get into the heart of today's topic. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the many phases of grief that comes about when we lose loved ones. What can it look like? And two important suggestions on how to manage and begin the process of moving on with the business of living our most profound lives while still honoring those that we have lost. But before I go any further, please be mindful that the opinions and conclusions shared in this video are mine. They're based on my lived experiences, observing friends and family, and working with clients in therapy, also utilizing the most up-to-date research available. So be sure to take what I say with a grain of salt and come to your own conclusions, because ultimately you are the expert in your life. Furthermore, this video should not be used in place of seeking professional therapy if there's a need. So I want to start off by saying that I had planned a few weeks back to make and post this video today. But admittedly, as I was doing it, I was conflicted about actually making this video on grief, which is a very complex topic because, my family and I, unfortunately, are dealing with our own loss. Sadly, on December 27, 2 days after her 87th birthday, my mother unexpectedly passed away. And as one can imagine, it has been a difficult time for my family as we begin in our own ways to process coming to terms with this loss. And as I've begun to attempt my own process of grieving, I've learned a few things that I'd like to share with you that might resonate if you're dealing with your own grief. Let me start off by saying that I've worked in therapy with a number of clients dealing with grief. And the common theme I have found is that there is no uniformity to the way we grieve, you see. We all process and deal with loss in different ways. Moreover, one could argue that grief exists somewhere on a spectrum, that is, it has many faces. For some of us, the grief is normal, that is, we're able to recognize and process each emotion associated with the loss as they arise and eventually being able to move on with our lives. For others, the grief can be complex, prolonged, triggering waves of anxiety and depression. And then there are others who fall somewhere in between those two. Where we land on the spectrum is often a result of what I believe are four key factors. These factors include, for starters, our coping system. For example, are we the type that tend to deny how we feel, intellectualize or rationalize without truly addressing our emotions? Another factor is our relationship with the bereaved. Essentially, were we close to them or were we not so close to them? Was our relationship complex? A third factor is our support system. In essence, do we have a circle that we can share our feelings with and be able to lean on them when we need it the most, or are we isolated and alone? And last but not least, how did they die? Essentially, was their passing expected or was it unexpected and sudden, giving you no chance to say goodbye? So based on where we fall on this spectrum, how we display grief can take on a variety of faces. And some of those faces on the surface can appear completely unrelated to the grief. For example, when my sister passed away in 2016, and consciously denied that I was devastated by her passing for well over 6 months. And during that time, after going on vacation to the Caribbean, I suddenly convinced myself that I was going to become a rum importer, despite having no experience in that world. And furthermore, I don't even drink or even enjoy rum. To an outside observer, one could simply decide that I was a man randomly chasing delusional dreams. But the reality was that I was simply trying to distract myself from dealing with the loss of my sister. So with all that said, what does my grief look like now 6 years later, and combined with the fact that I'm a licensed mental health therapist with training in grief counseling and supposedly now more evolved and hopefully more emotionally intelligent? Well, the answer to that question is I really don't know. I'm unable to pick one emotion that I'm experiencing, that is anger, sadness, anxiety, or just plain relief that her death was sudden and that she did not suffer as my sister did. But I suppose the truth is I'm experiencing all of those emotions at the same time. I'm angry in moments, and I do catch myself becoming short with people I love and even with myself. Other times I'm sad for seemingly no reason, and other times I'm anxious as I think about my own mortality and wanting more time to pursue all that life can offer. And then there are times where I find peace that she did not experience prolonged suffering because her autopsy had shown that her breast cancer had come back. But even in that relief, I'm conflicted because I wanted more time. The reality is, family, the phases of grief, as I stated earlier, are many, and perhaps that is okay. And as it relates to moving on, the reality is that there are no cookie cutter approaches because of the uniqueness of how we all experience grief. But the two suggestions I'll provide you is what has been working for me so far. For starters, be open to exploring all the emotions as they arise, and there will be many. In effect, whatever feelings arise, allow yourself to walk through them. Do not try to deny, intellectualize, or rationalize them away. You are only going to prolong and complicate your grief. If you're angry with the person that has passed, feel it and preferably talk through it with someone or write it in a journal. Again, explore all emotions because your most profound self is really awaiting you on the other side. And finally, do not put a timetable on your grieving process. Time is your friend, so take as much time as you need. The thing you will learn about time is that it won't completely remove the grief. Rather, it can help you over time to live without answers, which in many ways we're all trying to find when we lose someone we love. So I hope this information made some kind of sense and helps you in some way if you're dealing with grief. And as always, family, stay well.